Deeper into stage 2 now. Astralis looking to find their first victory. They'll start on the CT side here, and we'll get into the action momentarily. No upgraded pistols on either side, and we will see a B lean from Fnatic here. They do like to trickle in towards that B bomb side as Flusher just showing some tendencies towards long, but it will be a full commitment here. Dupree already fired off most of his bullets, but still gets the first kill. Golden answers back, and Glaive and Mage is still ready and waiting on the B side.
Yeah, Glaive's just jiggling so the Magis can take the fight. Now he's actually hitting the shots he needs to. Crim's down to 2. Should be finished by Magis. JW, however, not interested in losing this round, has got access back to the B site. Rotates come in, bomb will be retrieved, and suppressing shots from Flusher enable the retrieval of the bomb. Crossing could be deadly. He does get across. Device and Glaive, they might want to contest. A smoke has bloomed by the doors, means that window is the most likely avenue of assault, and straight through the smoke, Flusher has struck, often the word I would have used, and Zipex trying to strike again.
Oh, it's such a Fnatic round, this one. The way they're winning it as well, just by the skin of their team. No. JW has snuck out the doors here. The bomb is getting to a very difficult position for Astralis to actually retake this one. They have no kick currently. They're trying to find him. They have no idea where he is. This is a horrible round of CS. No one really connecting. JW, though, he's done enough, as they will close it out. It's the scrappiest round you're ever likely to see, but Fnatic somehow pull it out of the hat. Astralis had all the advantages in the world, but a lot of whiffs there, Chad.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it's that duo of JW and Flusher to close it out. We pointed them out on the board at the start of today. Yesterday, they were influential in picking up that victory against FaZe. They are the second and third highest rated players just from stage 2. So we're only looking at yesterday's games. It's great if they can continue this form.
Device on the scout, who's been known to cause quite a lot of strife for Tees, who feel like a fight middle early into the second round. He is on the Force, of course. You can see there's going to be 2 scouts in play. And who is that cheeky beaver? That was actually Golden, in almost faking the presence on the B side of the map. He did cross back, and now Molotov forcing Device into a more passive line.
Well then, Fnatic up against the Force buy here of Astralis. The 2 scouts, it's Glaive and Device, not Device and Dupree. That double AWP setup will come out though eventually. Dupree has been trying to mold himself into a secondary sniper now for the last year or so. Finally coming to fruition, we're starting to see him having some very impressive results, especially on Dust 2. As the A-take will be coming through, you can see the reposition from the CTs here. Going to be boosting up one of the scouts with the bomb side, but has led them to their first and second death here. Golden, fantastic shots from him, but an even better one from Zipex towards short. Significant damage there on the cross as well. It is going to be a 4-on-3 in favor of Fnatic, but still a chance here for Astralis.
Yeah, and I think Flusher is the make or break moment, because Dupree, he's actually still heading back to B. Not sure what his plans and intentions were with that. He now will return to Flusher's domain, and chances are his back's going to be exposed, as will Zipex. Flusher, oh, Flusher. He squandered his shots and now tapping away. He needs to find the shot. He can't. On to JW, looking for the 1 versus 3. He's under a lot of scrutiny, but he does cross the line. 2 back-to-back 3K clutches. JW pulls home the second.
The fact that he is keeping his form is probably the most unique thing about JW, because his playstyle is very
erratic.
Yeah, and we never know what he's going to do. I don't think he does half the time. It's difficult to see him have 2 good days back-to-back. That was a problem we had during stage 1, Henry.
Absolutely. Performances against Big where they actually fell flat. JW wouldn't turn up at all, but right now he's firing on all cylinders and looking incredibly hot as he does win out yet another round here and find the 2-0 for Fnatic. This is a tactic we've been trying recently, boys. You go for the full CT stack at the beginning of the round. You assume that no one's going to be in this B side, then you put 1 flashbang in, all the CTs try and enter the B bomb side, the USPs, and hopefully you get a few kills. But unfortunately, Fnatic have got right up to the doors before they've even had a chance to kind of squander their chances here. JW not going to check the right, but he does in the end. It's going to be Dupree and Zipex dropped here, and it looks like our logical conclusion of this round is coming in very quickly, with all 5 players surviving, barely taking any damage there. A nice idea from Astralis, but way too fast from Fnatic.
Will we see back-to-back 3Ks 4 rounds in a row from JW? I mean, already he's on the this set. This time it's against the full buy. A little more of a tough ask. Let's see if the fragging is going to be more evenly distributed this round. Brolin's back on his signature weapon. We'll get to see more Krieg action into the 4th.
Yeah, he is an absolute demon with the Krieg. Well up there with one of the world's best. And they'll continue with the fast-paced gameplay, it seems. Fnatic will have 5 players towards the tunnel to kick things off. They love a contact B. We've seen this. We've casted a few of their games. They like to just walk in towards a bomb site, have a brawl, and make it work out for themselves. But for now, falling back, it's Crims who doesn't feel like this one is going to be necessarily working out for them, as the first kill is found. Device will take down JW. That's top of middle. So they are going to reposition this, and Crims the Mac 10 back towards long. 2 players middle doors.
Okay, from Brolan. He's got the lineup and takes Device's AWP out of his hands straight through the door.
Yeah, it didn't sound like he had a helmet there, so it takes a lot more damage through the door from the Creek.
Damn.
And that's going to be an opening kill for Fnatic. Brings it back to a 4-on-4, and maybe they've got a bit more here. May just recovers the AWP, but it's such a difficult shot. He flicks towards Catwalk, but it's Brolan who gets his second. Bomb to go down. Fnatic are high flying right now. This looks fantastic.
They almost convinced all of us that it was a B, and
Yeah,
then eventually
right.
changed their mind after the early frag. They send Crims on a long mission. He hasn't yet to find too much of an impact on this round, but the round has been won, and Glaive shooting corpses. That is no fun. You can see the shake of shame. We will see 4 on the board for the boys of Fnatic.
So we always talk about conditioning in the server with strategies and different pressure points and maybe players that you want to abuse, so you're going to force a lean from the CT side. Well, Fnatic have actually been doing conditioning outside of the server. So they've been making sure that, you know, they lose those first maps, and then teams just expect the first map to be a breeze. They come in, it's only like 30% they need to give, because Fnatic aren't going to be able to win anyway. But here, they're winning 4-0. So they've waited. They've really waited. These guys are very strategic. I didn't know that it went this deep, Henry.
Yeah, it's true. Yesterday, losing to FaZe 16-8 on Mirage to open things up, and the day before, they lost 16-2 to NIP on Overpass. It feels like it's a common trend for Fnatic, but right now, they've had enough of it. They thought, you know what? In Stage 2, we're going to play some proper solid Counter-Strike. We're going to start winning 2-0s instead of 2-1.
That's absurd.
Yeah,
right?
we're going to step things up a little
You're
bit here.
crazy.
And we'll do it against one of the world's best here, Astralis. 4-0 for Fnatic so far as we get into round number 5. No AWPs available.
Again with Golden's B calls.
Here we
gets
go.
them in the halls early. This time they're just going to try and condition with some early utility. Flusher is going to stick around as well for a fight.
Oh!
No!
It's not even a fight.
No, that's a rather one-sided affair. That's bullying, if you ask me.
Straight up bullying.
This looks like a strat out of a casual server, right? You have your AWPer stay in T-spawn and everybody else just goes tunnels. There's no focus on the rest of the map. They haven't even needed to give Astralis anything to worry about, but Magus gone to Crims has given Fnatic something to worry about.
Okay.
44.
All right then. Magus through the smoke does pull one back here, trying to drop a decent grenade for those doors as well. Going to land towards the Xbox. You can see if anyone was there, that would have done a ton of damage, but unable to connect, and maybe receiving a bit of damage himself. Magus still happy to challenge though. 72 HP. Already got 1 kill to his name, being very combative towards middle, but the focus will be towards long now. Flusher has snuck out those mid doors. His teammates getting ready to attack the A bomb site. Flashbang to come over momentarily, and I'm sure they'll make their way in. There's the flash. And long is clear for now. Zipex to patrol with just a flash himself and an M4 from Carr.
This frag onto Zipex is going to be everything. Look how much damage.
Yeah, that's insane. It's really unlucky. And Flush out, he's been in middle this entire time. So they get the aggro. The rotation from B comes through. The timing's off. And now it all falls apart. Even though Zipex did about 100 damage there on the corner. Flush just being a nuisance. Playing it perfectly, of course. And now it's just one player remaining. Dupree scrambles up towards Shore. Looks like he kind of fancies this one. He'll be actually challenging with the AK-47. Not sure why he wants to give the weapon up, but he does want to give it a go. Now locked in with the flames behind him. He's got 13 HP, and he continues his assault towards A.
Yeah, spots another one towards long. It's Brolan with low HP, and a flash and across towards the bomb site would apply a whole lot of pressure to force him to stay on the site.
That adjustment from Brolan guarantees the round now. Like, Dupree could have won this against a few crispy one-taps, but the fact he's that close now, there's no chance of him touching the bomb. So Brolan will confirm the 5-0, and 3 players will survive.
Yeah, so within these first 5 rounds, Fnatic have found opening kills in 4 of them. Here's an example right there, a Flusher taking down Device without a chance. The only round they didn't find the opening kill was on the pistol round. It was Dupree who found the opening on that B bomb site, and he was immediately traded. So right now, things are looking very good for Fnatic in that regard. And as they go up against pistols and a scout and a few grenades,
Flusher got the long spawn. Yeah, I wonder if he's just going to go dart out the doors here. He is. Straight out the blue bin, straight away demanding respect of the long position. There is some good utility damage considering the half buy here. A couple of 5.7s worth noting, not opting for the full $700 pistol, just going for the charity shop version.
Probably a bit more spammy around those smokes with the 5.7, but the problem is Brolan and Flusher taking damage at long to those nades and the scout in play within the hands of Dupree. If he hits a scout bullet into the chest of either Flusher or Brolan, they will both immediately fall, and that's weapons loose.
Well, we'll see whether he can actually connect any of these dots there. In terms of the setup from Fnatic so far, very default. They've just smoked towards the mid doors, bombs down in the long area as Crims investigates the short position. There is a player there. That's going to be Device as he Molotovs off the corner. He's got Glaive directly beneath him. It all comes down to the timings here. Smoke dropped and Device Going for a nutmeg here, and actually works out for him. Sitting in that smoke, Crims will push through, and he's actually picked up the rifle as well. Not a big fan of the play from Crims, I'll be honest. Pushing the smoke didn't seem necessary by himself, and it could lead to their demise.
Lots of danger here right now. The time is starting to tick on down. Fnatic don't know where they want to go. JW misses a shot. Device, well, he had a chance to strike with the AK, but now he's evened it up.
Yeah.
Well, they're not thinking about the AK, though, at all, are they? That could be recovered. Now they are jumping up towards shore. They need to make sure that weapon isn't picked up by an Astralis player here. It's still a 4-on-3 in favor of the CT side, and they have 20 seconds on the clock. Glaive's going to get a kill here towards middle. He's spotted the gun barrel, and it might get a little bit messier now, considering the AK spray preemptively firing around the corner. The scout going to struggle here. So is the AK. Who comes out on top here? I'm not really
10
sure.
seconds.
Golden.
Where
It's
is
going
the
to be
bomb?
10 seconds. They have got enough time to plant. That will be okay. It'll be on the nose, but it's absolutely fine. You'll see the bomb go down with no problem. It has to read 4 on the clock for it to be successful. And you can see Made is just hiding in the corner. They're hoping they didn't have time, but ultimately they did.
Yeah, wow. That's another one of for the Fnatic playbook. We've seen them do this a lot, actually. The 20-second chaos, it seems to be where they are at their calmest.
He was running from the brick box at, what, 12 seconds into the site? So you can tell that's a very last-minute decision there from Fnatic, but it paid on off because the CTs with the lower pistols eventually had to hedge. And now if Vegas can pick up Golden, that would have been a nice little weapon to carry on forward, but not necessary right now. Max loss bonus on the side there for Astralis. They will be able to get the full buy with everything that they need. We're going to see the AWP come out in the hands of Device here. Will Dupree continue with that secondary AWPing setup we've been talking about? We'll find out after these highlights.
Golden. He had 6 bullets and went for the taps. I like that. He was up against the scout. Felt like he could take some advantages, but you can see he did get that bomb down in time. That was the crucial moment. JW has cooled off after his opening 9 kills in 3 rounds, but regardless, a 10-1 scoreline certainly reads positively for him. He's got a KD of 10.
Yeah, he's doing very well out there. We're going to have quite the showing here on Dust 2, and we do move into our double AWP setup for the first time here for Astralis. We talked about it, and Chad, Dupree's never been known as a secondary AWPer throughout his entire career. In the last year or so, it's kind of been brought into the Astralis machine. Are you a fan of it yourself? Do you feel like it's a requirement of this team to find success on Dust 2?
I think when Device had to sit out and he...
Oh, bye, that's...
He won't even... Never mind.
Not even going to get a chance to show,
We won't even talk about him with the MVP because it's not even going to be an option.
Oh, that's going to be a straight-up B commitment here, and through the flames they'll go. They know Major's at the door here unless he gets a double kill. The round's already over. And Flusher, he's just being an absolute monster here. They've already lost 2 players. Let them survive. Let them save something for the next round. Oh, God, it's going to get worse, I think.
Yeah, Glaive's going to cower after that one. He's just happy to have got the info. So they knows where one is, and he's just going to be retreating from that hot spot.
So Dust 2 really does lend itself to all of the traits of Fnatic if they show up.
Yeah.
If this team actually comes in playing the Fnatic game, they'll get a win, hands down. The spawn-based, loose play style of Dust 2 really lends itself to the characteristics of the Fnatic players.
They're hunting right now. I just want to recap this because a few players probably will go down. But so far, besides those first 2 situations where JW had to win back-to-back clutches in rounds 1 and 2, the rounds have been very clean. Round 3, all 5 alive. Round 4, 4 players lived. Let's see how many go down here. Device clutch 1. Glaive's going to get...
Bravo.
Well, he gets 1. Glaive got 1 from that exchange right there. But it does do a little bit of damage. They save double AWPs on the T side to note. But what I was trying to point out there for everybody is the majority of the rounds, Fnatic is surviving with 3 or more players. That one right there was only 2, but they were trying to chase and take away those weapons. They're getting this done with ease. The rounds aren't messy. They're not having to play too many of these 3v3 mid-rounds like we've been seeing from Fnatic.
Well, has Golden taken the secondary here? It looks like he might be. Maybe just for the doors at the start?
Spawn, maybe. No, he doesn't have a gun at all.
Where did it go? There was 2 of them, and now there's 1 of them.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'll look at that in a second, because now Rollins charging straight up long, straight into the smoke. Glaive has no issues collecting. That's an express delivery of a Krieg.
Well, there's the secondary AWP now. That's been recovered. A bit of confusion here. You can see they are playing quite a loose game plan. It seems that they don't even realize they've got a double AWP set up. So there you go. Golden is proficient with the weapon. We have seen him pick it up a few times. And he heads towards long. This is looking good for a first Astralis round, though, as they do claim territory towards short. They've already got the opening pick, allowing long to be taken, which is fine.
You'd hate to fumble around over miscommunication of a gun, though, wouldn't you? Because
he
went into that round with a P250 in hand, meaning he knew the AWP was coming, just couldn't find it. It delayed the start, kind of put them 10 seconds behind the 8 ball. And
Roland was way out long, maybe with more support if everyone
more
was
flashes,
on the same page.
more smokes.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly not the round you're looking for if you're Fnatic, but they are 7-0 up. Haven't lost this one just yet. The Device, he nails these ones, but yes, you're right, dead on. The fact that JW hit that shot, that actually gives him a good chance. Trying to use the flames to cross and successfully doing so. Glaive now knows two players are on towards the side. The bomb will be planted here, and he does decide to push the flames somewhat here. Taking damage, but applying pressure, and it should be an Astralis pickup here, no problem. Flashbang is excellent from Dupree, and Crims now yet to find a frag, will be dropped as well as Astralis pick up their first.
Yeah, good shots all round. The Astralis individuals had to come alive, and they have. Their heart starts to beat, albeit just a blip on the life meter. What are they called? I need to go to a hospital and
A life meter?
What are those? You know the thing that goes...
Isn't it a heart monitor?
Thank you very much.
It's doing your heart rate?
There is a better name for it than that. That's
hospital heart monitor machine.
The beep beep thing, you know. He's
I know
dying.
what you're talking about. As you can tell, ladies and gentlemen,
I haven't been to a hospital since I was 8.
Yeah, and I'm not a doctor.
No.
So I'll keep to dissecting Counter-Strike for now.
Let's do the dissection in a virtual plane.
All right, so Long, this time they won't overcommit and give away an opening. It looks like they've gotten their ducks in a row as we have a single AWP out with 2 Kriegs, one for Brawl and one for Flusher, 2 AKs in the hands of Crims and Golden. So no issues with the buy and not much utility expended within the first 25 seconds of the round. Now the back and forth will ensue as the default spread across the map from Fnatic is starting to pressure Astralis. This is just the greeting of the round. They're saying hi, letting them know exactly where they are, and Brolin's going to tag up as if he has to jump back now that Molly's come out.
Can't afford to commit to that corner. Likely going to be cleared out by the CTs should they group up, or the threat of it alone is enough to dissuade.
So we're going with ECG machine here, or electrocardiography, and or Holter monitor is what we've gone for.
ECG. Yeah. Okay. No more acronyms. Control taken.
It's a very standard A defense being set up by Astralis here. An anchor towards Long of Glaive. 2 players over towards the A ramp to play off of each other when the execute comes on in. Keeping Glaive busy is very, very important right now.
Yeah. He's got 30 seconds on the clock and he's got long doors control. That's a very powerful position for a CT here. It means he can focus all of their efforts towards short. And that's exactly where Fnatic are heading here.
Smoke missed.
Smoke has missed. He's going to make sure they have a great screen as they come through here. Device is going to start nailing these shots. Got a bit of a shooting gallery to make their way over towards A. The second one doesn't connect as they get closer and closer towards the bomb site here. The bomb on the back of Golden, who does make his way towards the default spot. Bomb down now. 5 versus 4 in Astralis' favor. They have no smoke for the retake, but they have flashes. But a double orb setup as well makes things very difficult.
CTs from CT, and he's jumped into them! They bring the fight to Astralis. You can't plan your retake. We're going to fight you in your spawn. Crossing now, JW as the flash fades, so does the light from Glaive's eyes. Device thrown into a 1 versus 2. Crossing CT should be impossible. That will be Flusher, and he confirms 8 for Fnatic.
I love that. No other team would drop down with flashbangs towards CT spawn, but it's actually the perfect move there. They've got a double AWP set up. You're aware of that. They've done damage already, and they're just about to plan a retake it. They're about to pounce on you from multiple angles. You have no control towards Long. Why not drop down there and challenge the double AWPs and find a few kills?
Yeah, just an example of what the communication for Astralis would have been at that point. They would have been discussing, you know, who's going to be nading where, what positions that they were potentially going to be clearing as they went on up, and before they could even get out of spawn, Fnatic made that decision for them. So
very cool. They
will be able to keep the buy train going, the double AWPs out yet again, but it's very tough for Astralis at this point. 8-1 down. Haven't said that many times in my career.
No, this is a whole new world out there. Astralis tested. Their individuals now are going to have to step up. I'm looking at Dupree in response to the B, but...
Yeah. Just to note as well, Device is currently up 3-2 in opening duels, so they are 8-1 down. He is finding opening kills at AWP. They're finding openings, they're just not converting them. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to be landing. And we'll see now if Zipex will be tested again. This is another difficult buy for Astralis, although they do maintain the double AWP setup. We're yet to see it really come online, and we will continue to do so as Dupree's taken out by Flush's incredible Krieg.
Yeah, he did well there. Flash to jump across. Zipex, however, holding the mid for now. Double flash push on the second.
Oh, he's gone through. He's done a lot of work there, but still, it's a 3v2 situation.
Where's that bomb going?
There's still one player in towards the B side, and that's Majors. Everyone knows he anchors towards B for Astralis, so your best move at this point probably go to the more exposed bomb side towards A instead of the solid anchor of Majors, who normally gets 1 or 2 towards B. We'll see what their final move's going to be at this stage. Still have the dribble smoke down, Mages with no real utility apart from that HE. He's got a flash as well now. If he can time the HE well and get a big spray down, it's enough. He'd have to be throwing it right now at this point, though. Considering it, here's the HE. Does it land, boys? It looks good to me. Juicy. It might go straight behind them, though. They're already through. Ooh. It does a lot of damage, and it had to be just a few seconds earlier. Of course, he had no real idea of how close they were. Great idea. If he gets the good grenade through, big spray down afterwards, he probably gets all three.
I've been becoming more and more aware of how the trajectory of nades can completely actually kill you.
You noticed that, right? Yeah. As soon as he threw that, they all repositioned. They got the crosshair towards the back of the bomb site. So if he'd got it 5 seconds before, he might have had a chance, but ultimately gave away his spot.
Because they were just that extra bit advanced, they could straight up pinpoint where the only CT is likely going to be. I mean, it's dangerous stuff.
It used to be, back when I transitioned from 1.6 to Source, a lot of Source players would turn off the models once you kill a player, the ragdoll, people would have that disappear.
Yeah, you'd bind it to your mouse 1 or something.
In Valorant, you could actually do that. Yeah. And I turned that off as well, just because it reminded me of Source. Not being able to see the bodies everywhere, it actually makes things a lot easier.
Well, I was going to explain why I didn't do that. And the reason I didn't do that was because the information of where the body was, you could see of where your teammate, what angle he was killed from, like with how the body was set. Yeah. Right? And it could give you clues on how to approach the situation.
I found it hindered me more because all the ragdolls are client side
vision, yes.
And so if you have them on, there could be a case where they get a model that has landed at a different place to you. You're being blocked and they're obscured and they're not. I didn't ever want to take the risk one way or the other. If I've got them disabled, I might get an advantage by being aware of it, but I would never be at a disadvantage because of it. That's what I
learned. Yeah, that was a bit of a problem, right? And you would always try not to play around those models right there because they could do exactly what you were saying. Bit of an unfair advantage or disadvantage, depending on how you want to look at it.
And like even stuff like clearing the blood decals, the blood patterns.
I have to leave them on.
I've got them on my push to talk key.
Yeah.
Every time I push to talk, it clears
decals. Yeah. So it's so ridiculous sometimes. You're holding when a black head peeks into the black blood on a long distance, I'm thinking mid window, you've already there's blood on the wall.
Sure.
It just completely camouflages people. That's another weird unfair advantage.
Yeah, I get rid of that every time I can. So every time I talk, the blood is removed.
Still, we're into another round of Counter-Strike, and, well, this one's a weird one. Device has got his AWP that he preserved, and the rest of his team are going to try and delay with their very limited 2 smoke. Make it 1 smoke grenade, as Glave's decided long's a little too scary.
Yeah, this is just tough for Astralis. There's still a chance for them. Look, let's assume that this round goes with its logical conclusion.
Yeah,
they lose it. They were threatening before on the pistols, but they weren't able to convert. But if they lose this, they're down 10-1. If they get 5, that's not a bad CT half for Dust 2. But if they end up with only 2 or 3 rounds, then we have a problem. And Device cannot catch a break. The AWPers in middle are being dictated to by Mr. JW. He's up to his nasty tricks. He's rolled back the years. Or he's rolled them forward. Maybe he's in the future. He knows how Counter-Strike's going to be played for the rest of the time.
Yeah, dude. He's wearing straight up skiing goggles while he games. He's living in the future.
Oh dear. Zipex and Glaive wait patiently with a pop flash set up here.
I think that's a smoke.
Oh, it's the scope for the side, isn't it? So the right click and then you can drop it onto the side and actually block vision when they come at the ramp, right?
Forces wider angles.
Yeah, makes sense. So he's just looking for the perfect opportunity. You can use that lineup at home. He's kind of sat there and demonstrated it for long enough now. There it is. So it'll give him a bit more longevity on the A side here. That can weave around it. Lots of damage inflicted towards Brawlan, but ultimately he'll come out on top in the duel. Crims now gets his way towards A. We'll see how effective that smoke is for Zipex. Doesn't seem to be buying him a whole lot. He does find a single kill, but I think that's all they find here. Double digits for Fnatic on the T side of Dust 2 here. They are running away with this one, chaps. They are looking incredibly strong. Remember, Fnatic did pick Dust 2. His nuke coming up next, which is more than likely going to be going in favor of Astralis, just from what we could gather now.
It should. But remember when this team came together for DreamHack Masters Malmo, right? They actually played Astralis there, and Nuke was one of the maps. I believe it went to triple or quad overtime, something ridiculous. But
yeah, I do
Fnatic won that game.
Yeah.
Now, that probably shouldn't have happened then. It seems unlikely that it would happen again, but at least there's a precedent for it.
All I can really go on is the EPL curse right now, because we keep having these big blowouts in opening games of best of 3s, and then it just doesn't continue. The trend won't occur in the second map, and we'll see the next team just come online and take us to a third.
Well, let me follow that up, because when they played each other at ECS Season 8 Finals, Nuke was a map in the pool then as well, and Fnatic lost 16-6. So they went from the honeymoon at Malmo, where they had beaten Astralis on one of their best maps.
Flusher was back. Everyone was just bonding and feeling fantastic. We're in Sweden. We're in LAN.
And then two tournaments later, they're losing 16-6 on that same map. So it's going to be interesting to see what they've changed and developed in that time, because we know the honeymoon phase, they've had time to settle in now. They had 78 days between the end of last year's tournaments and Katowice this year. So Fnatic have a lot of prac under their belt. We're finally starting to see those rewards of it here, as their free Counter-Strike is actually working very well.
Well,
We saw it.
he did actually spot him. JW looking for the opportunity now. There is going to be one. Zipex edges towards the pit here, and he does rattle off a shot, but may just ultimately get two. This is looking much better now for Astralis, trying to lick their wounds after this disappointing first half, but it might get worse. Golden does pull one back. Remember, they played Dust 2 yesterday against Na'Vi and lost 16-10 as well. Things not looking a whole lot better.
This is a big call from Golden. By getting the frag CT, he's expecting Glaive to have fallen off A. Now advancing with smokes and fast movements, he's going to be caught out of position. He's barely got the AWP and got back to long. He's trying to fill the gap of Device, but now he's catching flashes. This disadvantage that Fnatic are working with doesn't feel like one. Now the site is theirs, and so's the man advantage, stolen back by Magisk. Bomb still yet to be planted. Glaive has just popped the head of Crims. A tiny fraction of his balaclava showing. Now it will be Golden thrust into a 1v2. Faking it out, not ready for sure. Magisk will pull home the second.
Oh, it didn't feel comfortable towards the end there. Golden, if he think he had a few more bullets in the clip, he might even get that kill towards long.
And if I'm going to be completely honest here, JW overstaying his welcome after it's highly likely that Magus saw him just as much as, you know, he was able to get the vision into the site. Hanging around with that stack after you've potentially been noticed, most people wouldn't do that. Most people would back on off. JW stayed, Magus gets 2 free kills through the smoke, and then Fnatic still make the round costly, still make it exciting. Continue. I wince every time. It just feels like it's going to hit. Crims legged out long, but
that nade does not take him down. He doesn't hide by the blue bin. He has a little more initiative than that. Knows the expected nade follow-up was coming. And so Crims fights to live another day.
This is a big note here. Device is on the rifle and Glaive's on the AWP. So Device must be feeling very helpless with the big green at the moment if they're making this mix-up.
Fnatic are making Device, of all players, the most consistent star AWPer in the world, feel like he can't play the weapon he's most comfortable with. That's saying something about the Fnatic T side, as was the graphic. You may have missed it. This is the most consecutive T rounds Fnatic have ever had against Astralis. That's quite the historic start.
Yeah, the 7-0 kickoff. Well then, 5-5 for now. Astralis, in terms of their setup, focusing towards shore once again. Device, as you mentioned, M4 in hand. Zipex behind him with the incendiary, one of which will be thrown towards the Xbox for now. But Crims, not known to be an AWPer, will be opening things up by virtue of low HP. He's given the sniper rifle, actually works out for him. He'll take down Glaive on the A side. Dupree pulls one back, but it cost him most of his HP at this stage. Down to 9 points of health, and we will see a reposition towards A. Zipex, good nade, but can he hold them off?
So they know where he is. They know there's going to be a fight on site. JW and Golden are going to try and force him out of position. Golden's low. It doesn't matter, though. 20 HP, and he just finds that headshot so comfortably. Look at their help. I don't even know if they can go for it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful play. That's really well done. The fact they've applied 2 flashbangs there just for Golden swings. Like you can see Zipex, he had his crosshair in the perfect place at that stage. He was ready and waiting, but he had to move away. Sure, he might have still had the advantage, but Golden hits. It's an absolute stunning shot there and confirms the round.
Now, we would have had the match head-to-head stats coming up of these two teams and how often they played each other. It was a huge amount. It was 66 wins for Astralis and 60 for Fnatic. But I want everybody to understand that it's to do with the cores. We operated on a core 3, basis, which is Dupree, Device, and Zipex over there on the Astralis camp. And Fnatic, it'll be JW, obviously got Flusher in the mix, and then Crims would be that third individual to make the core. Now, this goes all the way back, the rivalry between these two teams, to 2014, when Astralis were known as Dignitas. They had Fetish and AZ as the other 2 members. And on the other side of things for Fnatic, it was during their glory days. They had Olaf and Pronax in there.
That really is the throwback days. The Fetish really kind of warmed my heart there. You know? It's been a while since I've heard that name.
Yeah, God, Fetish.
Yeah.
The guy with the cap.
That's the one.
The accent. Not quite going to hit the first shot on the doors this time. JW does continue to be a persistent thorn in the Astralis side on this T side. Dupree realizing he has to take matters into his own hands, and Magisk is bringing the fight as well. They're pincering in towards T spawn.
What a weird play that is from the CT side.
But they're forcing them to do this, right? All their standard plays aren't working. Astralis have to change it up. They are 11-2 down.
It's fascinating that one player being thrown out the long doors, like that's always going to be a one and done. And that's exactly what happens. That favors the T side of this stage.
They
That's
won't clear this.
one of the Kriegs, one of the few Kriegs they had is given away. And that's a long-range weapon. As dupreeh, he's got the perfect setup to actually counter this. Now when we can pull this back, it's still going to be a 3-on-3. This kill is very important. Device not ready for it. That sniper just not working out for him today. Glaive could still save the round for them, but this kill has to come through.
Yeah, he's actually going to hunt it down. Bron hears it and does go down. Big frag, but B lost. No bomb.
Bomb's going A.
Is Flusher trying to sell it as much as he can? I mean, JW, he's just pouncing as fast as he can up long, but it seems like Glaive's too wise for these tricks. He will be catching the cross. A flash and a smoke will obscure his view, and just across, JW doesn't look, doesn't know just how close Glaive is. He's going to catch him completely unawares. That's the end of JDubs. Glaive securing a must-win round, and off the back of some aggressions from dupreeh and Magisk.
Well, nice work there from Glaive. You could see him put the brakes on as soon as he knew the bomb was about to be planted. He knew what was going on at that stage. Full defuse coming in. Flash could do nothing about it.
Just note, the two players they had go aggressive there, he's going to try and take away these guns. The two players they had go aggressive there was Magisk and dupreeh, the two that you want to be brawling, and then they had their safe pairs of hands. You had Glaive, you had Device, and you obviously had Zipex as the three who are a little bit more passive. But right here, Glaive doing this, we've seen Fnatic do these rounds a lot, right? Where they string out in the 2v2s and they'll isolate Jules because normally that draws the entire rotation. You expect the Ts to stay together so they can trade efficiently. That's fundamental CS. But Fnatic go against that, right? They split up, they try and make things really difficult, they force the CTs around. You can see Glaive putting himself in the Fnatic shoes and going, well, what are they likely to do here? Getting the jump on them, and it was basically a 1-on-2 situation in favor of Astralis in that moment before JW even went down. So you can see there we do have some technical difficulties.
Just a headset. It shouldn't be too long here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for bearing with us. It looks like we're back into the action already. So there's nothing to worry about whatsoever. And we're getting to the final round here of the first map of our first game. It's a big one. Fnatic versus Astralis. And do not adjust your sets. The score at the top is correct. Fnatic are absolutely decimating Astralis right now on Dust 2 as they pick up the Swedes.
Look at this D,
and
this
there is
T-Doors.
a good B spawn. And actually the auto sniper's coming through as well. There's the first kill. It's always a lot of fun to bring it out in this last round. Normally a bit of an overtime treat, but we're being shown it in regulation here. Device could pull one back here if they are overzealous. Looking towards a drop-down area. There is a smoke for now. Who comes out on top here? He's going to swat another one towards T-Spawn and does get JW in the end.
Yeah, I'll take that any day of the week. A good nade as well to soften up some of those B tunnels players. It was from short. Crimson Brolin, worse for wear off that one. Zipex, good damage inflicted. Flusher continuing to try and keep these B defenders there, and I mean, he's working wonders. Glaive and Device are pulled back into the B site. Chopping and changing. It will be Glaive's responsibility to hold the middle. And Brolin's just staring at this peak. Glaive needs information. And that's more than he bargained for. No scope necessary.
He's holding that like an AWP line. That's a sliver gap, you know? I know the doors are spammable, but he's using that like an AWP. Like,
yeah, it's the tightest of lines. Glaive, he just wanted a tiny fraction of information, and he gets so much more than he bargained for. Same could be said for Golden's exchange here. Likely anticipating someone on that close corner. You can always Molotov it off. But now Device, oh no, he's just walking out. This is big. dupreeh will relieve the long prong. And now it's a question of A or B.
Well, looks to be A here, as Zipex will be tested once again. He has been struggling on this A side of the map, dropping another smoke here to buy a little bit more time. Wiggling around the bomb site here. He looks like he's buying two of them up, but Broland is way too precise at that Krieg. Flasher patrolling towards middle, and both of these CT players will have to take short. Device in from lower B here to be one hell of a task. Flashbang to try and get them into the initial choke point, but there's so much work to do here.
Yeah, I mean, you need a cracker from dupreeh, don't you? Yeah. Just Molotov him off the site and just tap ahead. Not going to get that today.
Well, even if Device gets this kill, it looks like our half will be concluding at 12-3 in favor of Fnatic on the T side. It certainly is a terrorist affair these days, but this is a landslide victory so far from Fnatic. But if there was a team to pull it back, Astralis would certainly be in that conversation. Device now being toyed with, they try and go for the knife towards the end. An amazing performance from Fnatic to kick off this best of three.
Against the Astralis camp, and now they would have to have quite the monumental T side to even have a shout into our first match.
And it's not like Astralis didn't turn up today. They got 7 opening duel victories there in the first half. Can only convert 3 of them. So it's Fnatic. They're just firing on all cylinders, looking incredibly strong. Dust 2 suits their play style. We'll see a straight up B rush here, but looks things jumping around here like little rabbits making their way through. Roland will find the first, but they have actually managed to break through as Crims will be stuck behind the doors now.
Good shots from Flusher. He's going to try and close the gap. And yeah, look at this. Device is going to be responsible for tunnels, but they're coming from all angles. He has to hit some good shots, and that's a perfect start. Zipex has done the same. Advantage Astralis on the pistol. It's been one of the strong suits of their game so far. They've won a lot of pistols, and this one seems no different. Straight away, thrown Crims into a 1 versus 3. Sure, he's got a kit, and Magisk even giving him a headshot chance. Won't take it, and will not be taking the round. Astralis don't have to move too much of a muscle. Device is just staring at the doors, and Magisk does hunt for some info and loses his life. Crims maybe could take one more out of this one. He's thinking about it, but no.
Well, there we have it. Straight up B rush. Shadow 2 players is jumping around at the mouth of the tunnel there.
Yeah, that flash came in very, very late. I think what they wanted to do was kind of draw the CTs into the open, expecting it to be dry, and then that flash would come over late to blind everyone up. The CTs had their own flash, but when they swarmed the Glocks, you know, that's when they're doing their best work. It's close ranges, is what they want. They could get a few more bullets. If you're not hitting with the USP, that's when the individuals can capitalize.
That's why they're jumping around there, so you can't get the multi-kill potential. If you're going to have to kill a player, you have to really work for it. If he's jumping around, you can't all line up the heads. And at that point, they manage to trade up 1 kill. That's when everyone can just run and focus on the bomb side at that stage, and it works out very nicely for them. A couple of burst fire kills in there as well. Job's a good one. As we get into the second round here, it's the force buy from Fnatic, though. Always a scary round to go up against here. You know, the scouts are out, the CZs, Deagles, a lot of high-power weaponry. It doesn't cost a whole lot. JW with the sniper rifle now looking towards long. This is the first shot, but second go, same result here. Finally nails that shot towards Device, but he takes a lot of damage as a result, and the nade will finish him off.
Yeah, up long. Rotation is caught. Glaives messed his spray. That could come back to haunt them, because now crossing into the site. Golden and Crims, they've got a little bit of a one-way on that. Completely exploiting the ramp players, and just as I say that, Zipex, but Brolin swings out of the smoke. Just getting the one. Maybe anticipating a second, because Flush is on his way with a CZ, and he has got another. They are both low, and only 5 bullets in the clip. My goodness, he's got nothing to work with.
The bomb's down on the ramp as well here, so he's going to actually have to pick up a USP just so he has bullets in a gun. That's his main problem right now. Does find a UMP en route towards the bomb site. Nails a jump up towards short. Got a flashbang available to him, and remember, they're both low, so he can still win this one. Heads up towards short now. Probably flashes the side before he commits. Uses the USP instead, knowing he just needs to hit a couple of shots here. There's the first one connecting. Flashbang will come out now. Device with the scout as well. What kind of plan do we have available? It does look quite a defensive one, but Device ready and waiting towards the corner. Nails the scout shot. Although it's a very close round, it will be Astralis to pick it up.
Almost robbed them right there. And this is where Fnatic have one of those opportunities we've been talking a lot about, where if you were on the T side in this scenario, you would instantly be rebuying in. On the CT side, you're kind of tempted. You're thinking about it, right? You know that you took 4 players away. You know that you still have roughly around that 2.5 mark to go for a buy. They are going to purchase into some nades and upgrade some pistols. So it's not the full investment.
Well, they did so much damage in the previous round. It's frustrating not to be able to invest much more than some HE grenades, but they could be the perfect investment here. We'll see if it comes through. They are going to land, and it looks like they've already broken through. So should be fine for Astralis here. They'll take a couple of casualties, I'd imagine. And his Flush is still in the back here with the USP, but he's burning to a crisp. So the B rush against USP is normally pretty safe. Had they dumped those grenades at the very start of the round, it could have been a different story, but they were waiting for a dribble smoke and a slower commitment there. So Astralis managing to avoid what could have been a very dangerous scenario.
Yeah, and once again, another team utilizing that Mac 10. When they've got the read on the buy, they know it's going to be nice and easy, just bounding that Mac 10 in. Just that $1,000 loose nades enables them to take some chances at not too much of a financial cost. Lovely start for the Astralis T side.
Yeah, just what they needed. Clean 3-0 conversion. The orbs will be coming out of the next round, though, although JW has invested a little bit more than he'd like to. Brolin has got 3K, so he might be the one dropping the sniper. Time will tell as Golden hunts for any opportunities here. Trying to keep them in towards the bomb side if possible, but it doesn't matter regardless. They'll take him down and survive before the bomb even goes off here, so no problem as Astralis find the 3-0, and here comes that first gun round. Will Brolin have to drop the orb, though? That's the question. He's got 5,900, the only player that could do so, and actually have some Kevlar to talk about.
Like.
And he's gone for the org instead, so yeah, rifles across the board here. Focusing on the utility game. Fnatic now starting to feel the pressure somewhat. If ever there's a team that could crawl their way back into a series, Astralis probably the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah, certainly. Golden to hold this catwalk cross. It's going to Scout versus M4, and the Scout wins out. Golden tagged up, retreating, but Magisk is ahead of the Flames. Lots of pressure being applied.
How sick is that, using their own CT smoke against them to get control towards B? It hasn't worked out this round, though, as Golden has actually got the bomb. That's a nightmare from Magisk. Fully commits to it, and now Golden sits in the smoke, going for a big play here. Gets some more damage off, but it might not be enough here. Brolin, though, mowing them down. It is looking very good for Fnatic.
Yes, and Brolin's not done. Brolin collects all 4. They flood into his sight, but he is the dam that keeps them at bay. 13 now for Fnatic.
The bomb running up towards the B site. Like I said, it was a cool maneuver there. You've gone so quickly through middle. You've actually got the CT smoke to guise you up towards the B bomb site. They can't spot your movements there, but Golden was ready and waiting outside the bomb site. It was a position that wasn't accounted for there, and the C4 goes down. It means Astralis have to fully commit. There's no choice at that point. They can't fall back and re-coordinate. They're going to have to see what they can do, and it was very chaotic with Brolan nailing them with the Orc. And speaking about getting nailed, it's Golden this time through the doors at 47 HP.
Okay, JW is going to be tested here on long. He does have some support. The long smoke coming in. Oh no! Oh no! Not quite what he wanted, and now already 2 players falling on long. A third as well through the smoke. Astralis, they haven't seen any of the players they've killed just yet. Straight through. JW perhaps the exception to what I just said because he squandered those headshots. He had 2 backs turned.
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting it to be that easy for him. The smoke not ideal for the crossover here, and this could lead to their inevitable doom. The spray down from Golden is absolutely spot on here, and now leads to a 2-on-2 situation. Zipex nades towards spawn and actually lands right in the pocket there of Golden. That should enable their cross at this stage. Brolan though, Orc towards shore, vaults up towards the bomb site, spots one at the ramp, gives himself an opportunity here. If he can make this a 1 versus 1, he's got a solid chance.
Has he been spotted though? It doesn't look like they had identified his position.
Definitely with the flash. Brolan's going around the world though. Device on car.
So they've got 1 car, 1 bomb site. This is defensive position towards car, so they'll hear him at this point. Zipex the first to challenge at the corner.
He's been heard.
Yeah, definitely been hurt. Does he check car? They've got a perfect crossfire to take this down. He shouldn't get more than 1. Doesn't even check Device's position. They'll confirm around. And it will be Astralis to pick it up there. So it was scrappy, but they managed to break their way through with Zipex getting 3 there. All down towards long, and JW had that perfect lineup there. The Molotov from his teammate thrown from the corner. All of Astralis saw it. They had that crosshairs focused towards the long corner. JW, though, overwhelmed, only manages to get 1. If he gets both those kills, trust me, they're winning that round. So he'll be gutted at that one as Astralis claw another 1 back. Gonna be 4-1 in the second half. 13-7 overall, and Device makes his way down middle, knowing they've got no money on the CT side. Is a revolver out? Of course it is, boys.
I would hope
Maybe
nothing
it works
less.
well on this map. Though we learned a little tidbit on the way home yesterday, right? You guys told me about the car.
Someone on Twitter, I can't remember their name, did tell me that the R8 does actually have a 60 to 80% accuracy ratio on the ladder. So one of the only weapons that have that sort of trait, so maybe your maps like Trainer could have something to say, but JW does buy it. And just a note, it replaces the Desert Eagle in your loadout. So you can't buy the Deagle on the CT side if you have the R8 equipped. We're yet to see much more than 2 kills for the entire EPL season from it, but we're still enjoying it.
Yeah, and a lot of damage. I mean, they may not be converting into kills, but again, we saw JW using it like a scout through the smoke, much more effective, much higher rate of fire without the scope. And yeah, he tagged up 2 down to 12 and 36 respectively. You can see the amount of damage it did.
They've got the revolver now. Zipex has found it. Happy to give it a go.
He's leaving it. He'll leave it on the battlefield.
That's a shame.
And Crims might want to take a couple of weapons out of the Astralis hands. It's Magus, and he's lost his AK. Zipex is low, he can't afford to go for it, but that's quite the opposite for the hunt. Crims did want to find another. Shut down, and 8 now for Astralis. Yet to see Astralis, Fnatic find too much on their CT side.
Just the 1 round. It was number 4 after losing the pistol and the 0-3 conversion. They did manage to bring 1 together, but ultimately been shut down ever since. The first time the AWP brought out in this second half is in the hands of JW, and a secondary for Golden as well. We said he's been kind of flirting with the weapon recently, and he's going to give it another go here on Dust 2. We've seen him use it on Mirage as well. On towards that B bomb side. We'll see Glaive use the long spawn, trying to get over. The long smoke is down. JW flashed, and his teammate dropped. Flusher en route to the pit has been taken down. Astralis pick up the pace now, and shots being missed. Golden crumbles under the pressure here. JW will have to stand tall.
And Crimtas as well. So damn tall. Device losing health. JW aggressive on long. He could be punished for that. But in the meantime, Zipex is the one to aggress short. Device catching the mid doors. Numbers favoring Astralis. Where is that bomb? It's on Zipex, and he's going to be planting it. Golden, that's nonsense.
Okay, well, it's a full long plan here, meaning they can have a player in towards the pit. That's going to have to be Glaive at this point, but up against 2 AWPs, could be a little bit more problematic, and they can smoke the bomb as well. Problem is they have to get close towards the side first, and how do they do that with 2 sniper rifles at this point? Their avenue of approach is going to be walking up with the scopes towards the side itself. I don't think they can do much of this. The incendiary actually blocks them out. Golden's having a bit of a nightmare here. Throws the smoke on the corner now. Needs to go for a jump shot, really. Spots one towards Goose. The bomb's too far gone. They should have saved these weapons. There's no way of them winning the round now. JW knows it, and he'll be falling back as they extend their lead here. It's going to be 39 overall, but 6-1 in the second half to Astralis.
6-1. Maybe, just maybe, the Fnatic first map falter is still on the cards. Astralis, they've been doing solid work across the second half start. And look at the kill distribution as well. It's like 3 kills separating top from bottom. This was Glaive turning it on with his opening frag on long, and the rest just came naturally. This was ridiculous from Golden. Just sees the nade being thrown and adjusts through the doors.
Well, they're right back in this game now, looking for double digits. 1 round away from doing so, and the CT buy is not going to be amazing. They save 1 AWP as we get into a US Air Force tactical timeout here. Device dominates. Device is the 3rd performance against Fnatic, holding a 1.35 rating and 1.45 kill to death against him in the past 6 months. He is Mr. Consistent. He always turns up. Had a quiet first half, Chad, but we are starting to see that AWP starting to do some serious damage now on the T side.
Yeah, they were really getting dictated to on their CT side. They couldn't really just stop the aggression of Fnatic. Whenever they wanted to go fast, it felt like they could get away with it. Whenever they were stringing out the duels, we had Flusher getting kills over the top of Molotovs to platform, with JW winning back-to-back clutches.
Yeah.
Now Astralis starting to get something moving. Zippy, he's continuing the good form from yesterday, up at 18 frags, leading the way for his team right now. And well, Fnatic, they've got these upgraded pistols. They have that UMP and the AWP for JW, but need to find some frags with it, because the rest of them with those pistols, we know how deadly they can be, but it's not the easiest of rounds up against an Astralis, who's slowly picking up momentum here.
3 smokes left for the T side. We see 1 deployed by the CTs to keep them at bay. That will be their second to last. Now this HE combo, this could do a lot of damage. It's just a little too short again. And into the side with a double. We will see Crims, he didn't check him, and he commits to the spray. Couldn't quite find the necessary UMP bullets. And this one will go its predictive way. Zipex to get the bomb down.
Well, I think you might be onto something there, Alex, as it is going to be the 4-on-2 Golden JW. That AWP from this previous round will have to be saved at this point. And in terms of loss bonus, maximum, of course, coming into the next round. Astralis have got double digits. Golden will be taken out of the equation. And Astralis now right back in the conversation to take this first map. Remember, it was a 12-3 half against them on Fnatic's map pick. And this is where it could all come crumbling down. Remember, it's Nuke up next, Chad, as well, which is a very powerful map for Astralis.
One that they actually banned yesterday against Na'Vi, just to note. So that's quite a
Well, it has been a very good map for Na'Vi as of late, right? Like a map I never really associated much with them until I saw Katowice, of course, and we saw how powerful they could possibly be on that map individually. Boomich, one of the best new players in the world, it seems. Flamey holding ramp like there's no tomorrow. It was a wonderful performance there.
I think when you have Electronic and Simple as your 2 link players, and Yard and Secret, the ones to deal with the most problem area and the hardest to do with rotations, you're onto something there. You've got 2 very, very strong individuals who synergize really well. The same can be said for Astralis right now as they continue to mount this comeback. What are we at now? 7-1?
We are at 7-1. Double digits for Astralis, where doubt starts to creep into the minds of Fnatic players here as they enter another double AWP setup. Golden has hit him with some impressive shots, but JW will have to start chiming in as well. He's holding towards short. He is alone and very aggressive here, looking towards Xbox and lower. Device on the other side. It's been a key battle. In terms of the bomb, that's outside long for now. First jump up comes through, and JW will be frustrated he didn't nail that one. Very close, but no cigar.
Yeah, he's going to be kicking himself. An opening kill, everything to the CTs. Really stops the numbers game from feeling overwhelming against the T side. Being pre-aimed now.
This is such a risk from JW, but this is exactly why we love his play style. Out he steps, he gets the leg. It's a massive risk. There wasn't even a flash, it was just dry.
Yeah, I guess he was counting on Device's crosshair to be where it was. It was only going to be a leg shot at the maximum. Glaive trying to sell the B, looking good. Dribble, smoke, and a nade onto Golden's feet. This could be the mid to B even. Now the smoke for CT. JW will not be able to contribute from A now. second smoke. That usually means the commitment, as we talk about. Device already catching Golden. It's all onto Brolin on B. He needs more than one. He doesn't get any of them. Dupree's found another. Astralis are fragging all over the map. This is getting scary now for the Swedes.
Yeah, they are running away with the second half and taking no prisoners. Fnatic have dropped 3 players and have no choice to save. Their Zipex is on the hunt. JW will at least thwart his efforts here. Fnatic now desperate to hold on to any weaponry they can. They are riding the wave of the maximum loss bonus, but Astralis just bleeding them dry here. Every single round is overwhelming them. Dupree, Device, Mages all chiming in with kills here. Flusher cowering in T-spawn, hoping to survive with just an M4, no grenades. Things starting to get rough out there. This massive lead they built up, a 12-3 half, it's crumbling around them.
Yeah, it's going to be haunting if they concede this. Such a sterling first half.
Just there, boys. It seemed very simple. We're going to bring it up on Skybox. I want to talk you through the protocols with the dribble smoke that we're labeling it here. So we're going to play this one out. Glaive is in upper tunnels. He's going to throw this dribble smoke right here. And normally the protocols from the CTs is they have to play close to it because the Ts use this smoke to kind of have multiple entry points when they do a flash or pop hit. So playing close to that smoke was something they was able to achieve. They were already there, but that meant for the mid to B, there was nobody spotting that line. So Glaive did a fantastic job with the distraction. You can see Golden and Brolin moving around, but it's too little too late as the mid to B is already coming on in. Let's get back into the action.
Let's do it. Towards long. So many flashes. Jesus Christ! 6 flashes, 1 frag. It converts nicely. JW's gone. His screen as white and as bright as my future. My goodness, that's ridiculous. Let's see what we've got here. Flush is going to try and contest. He has only got the M4, the only real viable avenue into the round.
Well, that AWP is MIA now. Flasher with the M4, Brolan with the upper B push, and 4 players from Astralis making their way towards the A side. A double smoke towards the crossover should be enough. A nice Xbox smoke just to suggest it could be the A split. Actually might be as well, considering Glaive made his position now. Brolan is the only player that can really save the day. A couple of 1Ds would be fantastic. He's got the perfect crosshair placement to do so many moves just as Magus walks into his screen. That is unfortunate. And now with the incendiary down, does Flusher avert his gaze? Apparently not. It doesn't matter. Wow. Magus still nails the kill, removes the rifle, and leaves the 5-7 isolated. And Crims is fighting his way out.
He's digging himself out of this hole. Don't know how he's even done this. He got another one with his 5-7. Now Golden's Deagle's connected. Oh, the Fnatic round. It's happened again. Haven't seen one of these in a while. Just with the pistols, some Kevlar vests, and the saved rifles. But it's all the pistols. It's all Crims. He's upgraded himself to the AK now.
Yeah, 3 kills with that 5-7, but they're up against Glaive. One of the smartest players in Counter-Strike. It's not enough, though. Crims will find in their second round of the half so far, and it goes 14-11.
Let's talk through these 2 rounds. Crims with the Miracle 5-7 and the Fluff from Astralis, running out mid to B with the bomb, literally delivering it to the B doors for the CTs to hold, and then Brolin mopping them up as they had no option other than running out mid to B. That's where these 2 CT-sided rounds have come from. Glaring mistakes from Astralis. Otherwise, this half has looked fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point to keep in mind that the only rounds Fnatic have ever translated here on the CT side have been through unforced errors.
Well, if they can find a couple more of those, Alex, it'll be enough to get them over the finish line. So their great shift in the first half. If all it takes is a few scrappy rounds in the second, they'll take it.
I think I would be remiss to not say that actually, to be fair, Crims' 5-7 play was definitely a forced error.
Yeah, indeed. They had to really work hard for that one. Isolated on the side, his teammates had dropped the rifle and the AWP going down. It's the 5-7 alone on the A side to find 3 headshots. That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, don't get to see those. He earned that one through blood, sweat, and 5-7 frags.
Okay, well, the mid-split's coming in.
JW's ready for it.
Yeah, it looks like he's got his first kill. He does nail the shot. The HE should be able to pick it up. It's going to be Crimson convert. And another opening advantage now for Fnatic. Starting to wake up at the tail end of this game now. Device, AWP up towards short, trying to catch transitioning players from the long position, but there's only one there for now. JW makes his way towards crossover, hit in the arse, and it will be taken down to just 4 HP.
Crims, that was ballsy. Great screen for him, not for Glaive. Does bring it back to a 4 versus 4, more of a 4 versus 3.1. JW's working with such a scrap of health. And Glaive's positioning, oh, it's so prime. Brolin did not expect that one at all. Glaive switched on, and he could very well be in the market for a third there, a clean kill onto Golden.
Yeah, he hasn't been happy with his individual level as of late, and we're really starting to see him turn it on in this really difficult Dust 2 game for them. 3 kills in this particular round, very important ones as well, just patrolling those flanks and looking very assertive of every shot. They know a CT player's towards a pit. They're going to do everything they can to hunt him down, and they've managed to take him to 41 HP. But is that enough to find the kill? Apparently so, and JW towards a blue bin. He won't be surviving to the next round, as they will be hunting him at this point. He probably gets one kill, not even that. Dupree will find him, and it's Astralis destroying Fnatic there, along with their finances.
Well, one of the positives I was about to note with Fnatic is because they continue to lose so many strings of rounds, they're always going to have the max loss bonus, right? The 3,400, it's not going to be shy for them. It's something they're quite familiar with at this stage of the game. So see those pistol rounds where Crims had the 5-7? We can have a few more of those still come in before this game's on over.
Yeah. And this is the tactical timeout now, brought to you by the US Air Force, as things start to get a little bit more tense. Fnatic with a 12-3 lead now find themselves with a 14-12 situation. Astralis have come fully online here. This has looked impressive. The only rounds that Fnatic have picked up have been scrappy, is where Astralis made a few mistakes, or when Fnatic have just had the pistols here. Their money is not in an amazing position, but there is a buy there. It'd be a mixture of rifles and SMGs. You can see a scout purchased already. It looks like they might go in for the partial buy, as Astralis close the gap round by round, is putting their foot on the throat of Fnatic here. It's their map pick. If they were to pick this up, 2-0 would be very likely, considering the nuke is coming up next. Astralis have chosen 4 AK-47s. Remember, they do not use the Krieg anymore on the T side, focusing on the original OG rifle here. And with Device's Orb, it seems to be a potent combination as we get into round number 27. First shot doesn't connect, and Fnatic hold on to the majority of their cash.
It's going to come down to some nades and some ratty plays around smokes.
There's 3 of them here towards long. If they don't go down through these smokes, they're going to hold Astralis at bay for the other 20 seconds while that corner smoke is still bloomed. JW not going for the revolver, opting for the scout, so that's a positive note right there.
Same thing, really.
Well, depends on who you talk to.
Plenty of info being gained by this B crew, though. They're about to call it clear. They're going to perhaps process of elimination their way to the long stack, but it's not necessarily, as Na'Vi taught us, it's only half the battle. Knowing that it's a long stack does not translate into beating the long stack.
I don't even think you need to worry about holding them in place at this point. If you put the lion's share of your numbers over towards the site, you know what they're going to do. It's progressional. They'll smoke the cross, they'll get a ramp control, they'll wait for you to boost and try and take the fight from Gandalf or site boxes there. Once they win that fight, they'll move into the site, they'll smoke off towards Catwalk, and they'll plant that bomb.
Yeah, starting their progress now through the side, through the smoke. Admittedly, some bullets are connecting, but no one has gone down. No lethality for Astralis to worry about. Instead, it's all good in the hood for them. More frags. Finally, Brolin's MP9 fills the feed, but only for one. Flush's USP not going to get him too far. And we have ourselves this gap almost entirely closed now. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a 12-3 half. Astralis had just given Fnatic the same treatment right back.
Yeah, 7-0 start for Fnatic as well. They were running away with this one. And now just one round separates them, 14-13. That was the eco, though, from Fnatic. A double orb setup could be on the cards once again, but Golden buys the M4, so perhaps not. It's going to be having the Org of Brolan, which has been very successful on the CT side. Pretty much the only success they've been finding, to be honest with you, apart from the 5-7 kills from Crims. JW on 17 and 16 hasn't done a whole lot in the second half as of yet. Only finding 2 rounds, and we'll see if Device can continue applying the pressure towards middle. Just completely running down from T-spawn straight towards middle, looking for any gaps in the smoke. Confirms it's clear as Glaive makes his way up towards short.
Change the way they have to default as well. There's no going through lower. There's no need to waste flashes. They're able to hold on to a bit of extra utility just here.
Is this the
This is the
B-door
doors.
smoke?
Yeah, okay, so this is pretty complex.
Going for it as well. This is a full all-in towards B.
So Glaive can line this up, and he'll have to do a running throw. So it's not as telegraphed as throwing it from the B tunnels itself. It's a running jump throw from here, and it will land in front of the B doors itself. It's actually missed completely, this one. So that's not ideal. And they'll think B is actually smoked off at this point. That's what Brolan is. So that's a bit of a shame, as they were going for the B split. It's one mistake that actually enables them to find a few frags here. JW can still go down and have a chance in the round, but they need to find this kill right now. He's playing it very well, surviving, taking them down, and it looks like Zipex is done for here. It's going to be Fnatic finding map point unless he does something absolutely ridiculous. Flashed off in towards the corner. It's the miss smoke, the cost in the round there, and 15-13 is found, and it's just due to mistakes, Chad, again, where Fnatic been picking these rounds up.
Yeah, when they go back and they recount how they lost some of these rounds, Astralis are going to look and feel pretty hard done by, but Fnatic, they have to be in the right places to capitalize on these, and they've been doing exactly that. Reflect back to the start of the game, oh so long ago, the 1v2 clutches from JW. We could have had a whole different pacing to this.
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah, and I mean, if after all of that, the unforced errors or these chaotic rounds that Fnatic have converted in their second half, it's enough to pull them across the line thanks to the hard craft they presented in the first. contesting long, or at least considering it. The smokes, Molotovs, flashes, and all of the bullets have been engaged very early, and that does leave Astralis with control of the T side of long.
This is very Na'Vi-esque though, right? We've
It is.
become accustomed with this. They did it on the Antico. It looks like they wanted to go for the similar play on the gun round here. Have Fnatic learned a thing or two? Do they have a counter in mind now that there's full utility out on the board?
Time will tell. Strong real estate found for Astralis here. Full long take with the bomb. Bit of a reply from Fnatic as they smoke offshore, confirming that area is clear and there's no one actually ready to pounce towards the A side. Molotov towards Car, trying to flush these CT players out. Pushing towards the bomb site. No one at that Car position as they transition back towards the B area now. So the bomb's going to be on the back of Major's gear. They still have smokes available. We've talked about the open skyboxes towards B tunnels now. So you can smoke the doors and the window from this area, but it's very obvious when you do so. So most teams are still opting for the dribble smoke in front of tunnels, and it does negate the AWP most of the time. We'll see if that comes through as Device will be faking towards A. They've got crossover smokes enabled for Dupree and Device. They might even commit off these and try and get a couple of kills as their teammates get ready and waiting for dribble smoke in B, but they need to wait for a bit of action towards A response from the CT side first.
Yeah, and I'm intrigued, more interested into Golden and his responsibility on B. He's falling off.
There it
and
is.
now here it comes. Core off in the transition. Mollies, but he has done well to find one. Not a second. He makes sure of that. Glaive. Oh, Flusher, however, catching the mid player. Crims has closed the gap, Glaive's in the doors, the smoke in the spray is not quite enough. Glaive lives on to fight another day, 100 HP, a 2 versus 4 in order to close this gap, or will it be the end of Does 2?
It was a great idea from Astralis, but it was Golden that found the all-important kill here. 4 versus 2 now. Astralis do have the potential to win this, but they've only got a decoy to do so. They're going to have to be combative. Glaive needs to get his kill towards the tunnels quickly. If he finds it, there's a chance, but that's going to be it. 16-13 in favor of Fnatic, but Astralis have made a statement in this second half. They are turning up to this series. They aren't going down without a fight.